Hey everyone, KitaSean here, so welcome back to another Fake Grand Order video. So we just had the live stream for FGOJP, Kazura drop, and the new event is finally here. But we also got some buffs, and surprisingly, I do see a couple servants that I'm like, whoa, they actually buffed them. I'm actually really surprised. That's Yagyu and Emiya. For Geronimo, once we saw Geronimo on the list of servants that are getting an event buff, I was like, okay, he's definitely getting a buff for this event, and here it is. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with Yagyu, then Emiya, then Geronimo. So Yagyu, Yagyu really needed an MP buff. That MP did nothing. It was just an MP. It just attacked. That's it. Overcharge effect reduced their the enemy attack for 3 turns, 20 to 60% depending on the MP level. But yeah, this MP did nothing. But finally, they added on some stuff here. Originally, I always thought that he should have had Pierce Involve, but they finally added it onto it, so yay. He should have had that from the beginning, but yeah, it's for 1 turn, so that's really nice to see. Obviously, the damage increases as well. And then it also had a 20% arch resistance down for 3 turns. Unfortunately, this doesn't apply before the MP hit, it applies after, but which is still nice because Yagyu can loop. He does have 2 arch cards in his deck, so yeah, he's gonna still do quite a bunch of damage after the first MP hit. So yeah, I think this is a fantastic buff for Yagyu, and he's gonna be doing some pretty good damage after this buff. Now let's go ahead and talk about Emiya. So Emiya has had multiple buffs in the past, especially with a 3rd skill. He's had an MP buff, he's had a buff on his 2nd skill as well, but his 1st skill never really had a buff, but finally it does, and it makes sense why they're buffing this. The reason why it makes sense why they're buffing this is because, well, originally this skill was a defensive skill, and it only gives evasion for 1 turn, and the increased defense for 3 turns was 9% to 18%. So obviously it has that OG FGO wacky percentage number. So yeah, this hasn't been touched since the beginning of FGO. So they definitely changed that. So now that defense buff is increased to 20 to 30%. So modern times, it's modern numbers now, which is again very nice to see. But it also now becomes an attack buff as well, which is actually really cool. So 20 to 30% attack up for 3 turns, and also gains 20 to 40 stars. So yeah, this is actually a really solid skill now. I like it. Give him a charisma. Or it's not the charisma, it's actually his own attack. Sorry, it's not a party buff. So yeah, this is again very nice to see that he now can not only get some more damage, so he gains stars. He can also buy camera. All right, sorry about that, camera fell. But yeah, this is again a really nice buff for Emiya. I think it's gonna definitely help him out. Now let's talk about Geronimo. So Geronimo is a very interesting servant. They forgot about him for the longest time. I mean, he does have an MP buff, but it's not like, you know, the greatest buff in the world or anything like that. But his skills were definitely a problem. All his skills basically do the same thing, but for different types. So the 1st skill was Buster, 2nd skill is Arts, 3rd skill is Quick, which this buffs this 3rd skill. Again, they all do the same thing, but again for different types. It's 30 to 50% buff for Geronimo. Now this buff for his 3rd skill now allows him to give this quick buff to a different party member, which is very nice to see. He's gonna basically become a support servant now, which is great. So technically, as of right now, he is a quick supporter. So I do believe eventually he will get the same buff for the 2nd and 1st skill. It's just the question when that's going to happen, and are they going to add on other stuff onto it as well, because the 3rd skill only adds on skill charge down by 1, so which is really nice. Skill charge down is always a great effect to have. So this again allows him to help quick servants, you know, get their skills back up as soon as possible. Of course, they gave him this because because they were dropping the quick servant, so they want to give quick supports as much as possible. So they're trying to fix quick, obviously. They're doing their best on that. But again, I think this is a pretty solid buff for Geronimo. I think we can actually kind of see what they're trying to do with Geronimo in the future. They're definitely going to try and make him like an all-around support servant, which is I think is a good call here. So hopefully, you know, first and second skill, not only will they get a skill charge, I think they should add on some other stuff as well. I honestly think they should add on more here. I think that skill charge was is nice and everything, but I feel like they could have added on more, maybe like, you know, crit up or some kind of like star generation or something like that. I feel like that would have been nice, or maybe a battery, you know, that would have been cool, or, you know, MP generation, something like that. I feel like that could have been really nice to see, but I mean, hey, I guess that 50% quick up is just too strong. But there you have it. That's basically the 3 buffs that we have for this event. I think they're all great, and again, I like what they're planning to do with Geronimo. So I mean, does this make Geronimo amazing? Not necessarily. I think it's a good start. I think he's going to be a pretty solid quick support too, because again, I mean, that 50% quick up is always nice, but I mean, there's always some other quick servants you can always use. But I think in like boss fights, challenge quests, you can maybe use them. I think that actually might be something you can use with, like, you know, switching them out and stuff like that from the back row. But yeah, I like both Emiya and Yagyu's buff, and I'm looking forward to see what they can add on to Geronimo's other skills. But that's basically going to be about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about their buffs, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters.